All right, so look, I want to talk about the agony of enlightenment. The more you know, the more you just can't stand none of this bullshit. And there's different levels to the shit. Of course, once you learn about these conspiracies, once you learn about the corruption, once you learn about how fucked up this place is on a physical level, sure, there's a certain amount of agony, anger, and stress that comes with that, but there's other levels. And when you get supreme knowledge, when you get universal knowledge, when you have a certain esoteric knowledge to where you understand the nature and the science of people and the planet and the energy and the nature around you, once you can see and understand things from that perspective, oh man, then this whole thing seems like hell. The whole human experience seems like hell. Because from that perspective, you realize what you are is an infinitely expanding consciousness trapped in this temporary physical existence. Because then at that point, it's just stressful because you realize, you recognize that God is playing all the roles and all the parts, including yourself. Everyone is just wearing a mask, and behind this mask is the same silent presence. It's the same God experiencing itself over and over and over. And once you get to that point of understanding, then all the drama of humanity seems irrelevant. But the part that really brings in the agony is you're still trapped here, you're still stuck here in this realm with restrictions and limitations, and you know it, and you see it, and it's stressful because what you think of yourself in your mind isn't always the reflection of your environment and what you see on the outside. It bothered me so much, I wrote a book about it, The Human Paradox. That's what the entire book is about. On how one level, I recognize my mortality, I recognize my limitations, I recognize this temporary mortal experience for what it is, but on the other end, I also recognize the knowledge that says what I am has always been and would always be. I recognize the knowledge that says consciousness is the foundation of this material world, and my mind plays a part in making it happen. I recognize that my mind, just like your mind, maintains a supreme circumstance in the infinitely expanding universe. But the problem is living with both these realities at the same time, knowing my potential, but trapped by limitations. That is the agony of enlightenment. Knowing what you are, what you should be able to do, but then being bound by certain limitations, all the limitations that come with being a human. And the more you know, the more it only gets worse. And that's why when you see these people online talking about knowledge and talking about they know this and they know that, but yet they just seem to be so fucking happy all the time, I'm sorry, but that's a red flag. Because everybody I know who really knows some shit got a disgruntled ass look on their face all the time. Because all this shit disgusting. Because they see the beauty and the potential of what everything could be, and then they see the reality of this hell. And it's so clear, it's so valid, they can't deny it. So yeah, this is the agony of enlightenment. The more you know, the less you want to participate in this shit. And it's a strange thing, because there was a time when I had a low self-esteem and I had depression because I did not have knowledge of self. I did not know who I was. I didn't know my history. I didn't know my universal circumstance. And then once I started learning out these things, once I started learning my history, once I started learning knowledge of self, once I started understanding the science of myself and the universe, it did boost me up. It did bring me to a certain level. I just felt like, you know what I mean? It can only go up from here. But then the crazy part is at a certain point, all that knowledge, like I said, once it turns to wisdom and understanding and you see the shit for really what it is, it's not fun anymore. It's not a game anymore. This shit is fucked up. And then you just end up in a place where you really feel like there's only two options. Either this shit needs to change or I gotta get the fuck out of here.